as voting begins in the Democratic primary, the Democratic presidential candidates are sending mixed messages on whether pro-lifers are welcome in the party. Every single Democratic presidential candidate holds extreme abortion views. They only differ on what they say to potential pro-life voters. During a Fox News town hall last month, former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg told the head of Democrats for Life he would refuse to amend the party platform to include pro-life Democrats. At a pro-abortion forum earlier this month, independent Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders said, quote, "Being pro-choice is an absolutely essential part of being a Democrat." Meanwhile, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, another Democratic presidential candidate, struck a different tone this month when she told ABC's The View there should be room for pro-life voters. To discuss the Democratic Party's relationship with pro-lifers, we are joined now via Skype by Representative Dan Lipinski of Illinois. Congressman Lipinski is Catholic, a pro-life Democrat, and co-chair of the Congressional Pro-Life Caucus. Welcome back to the show. When discussing pro-life Democrats, Congressman, you are the one who consistently comes to mind. Can you tell us what is it like to be a pro-life Democrat in Congress right now?
Well, over the years, it's gotten more and more difficult, but I'd say that over the last year or two, it has gotten incredibly hard. There are forces that want to push, if you see the president's candidates, most of them do not want to accept pro-life Democrats, and I keep saying it makes no sense for the party to push out 1/3 of their voters. 1/3 of Democrats say that they are pro-life. However, it is so hard now to get to a Democratic primary if you're pro-life, and that is why we see so few members of Congress now, Democratic members, who are pro-life.
Congressman, do you encounter pushback from the national party because of your pro-life position?
The party itself is not the issue. The issue is the outside. It's the Planned Parenthood, Emily's List, NARA. They spent $1.6 million at least against me last time that was correct. And I've heard that Emily's List is putting in $900,000 in TV ads against me in the last couple weeks. NARA has put in over $200,000 already. Mail is starting to hit against me, all because I'm pro-life.
Senator Amy Klobuchar, a Democratic presidential candidate, recently made comments on ABC's The View about pro-life Democrats. Let's take a listen.
I am strongly pro-choice. I have always been pro-choice, but I believe we're a big tent party, and there are pro-life Democrats, and they are part of our party, and I think we need to build a big tent.
Congressman, as the leading pro-life Democrat voice, what's your reaction to these comments?
Well, Amy Klobuchar is right. We do need a big tent. But look, the pro-choice group, they do not want to have any pro-life Democratic elected officials. They have shown very clearly they do not want. Why? Because they know that we are the biggest threat to them. And so they are putting in the resources to defeat pro-life Democrats. The problem is, on the pro-life side, pro-life Democrats are not receiving the same type of support. Now, I was just endorsed by National Right to Life, which I appreciate, but there's nowhere near the effort that's being put in by the group. And the other issue is that I believe if we want to have a pro-life movement in this country, have any possibility of having success, we need to have pro-life movement in both parties. And the only way to do that is for pro-life voters to vote in Democratic primaries and vote for pro-life Democrats. Not say, well, the Democratic Party is worthless, we need to abandon it. You need to vote in those primaries to elect pro-life Democrats. As I said, the other side knows how important it is. They're showing how important it is to push those pro-life Democrats, such as myself, out. I'd like to see the same effort on the pro-life side.
Congressman, what are concrete ways the Democratic Party can be inclusive to pro-life voters? What would you like to see?
Well, the presidential candidates, most of them saying that they're not open to pro-life voters is a problem to begin with. But the other issues are look, there are, people that we need. It's hard for me, pro-life elected officials, because of the real power of the so-called pro-choice group. They are afraid to come out and say that they support a pro-life Democrat. I think that's why the president's candidates have done this. They're afraid that they're going to get punished. And we need to see more Democrats step up and be willing to say, look, I'm not asking people to, I'm not asking to change the party platform. I'd love to see it. But right now, what I'm simply asking is accept pro-life Democrats.
Well, we are grateful for your pro-life leadership. Representative Dan Lipinski of Illinois, thank you.
Thank you.
And joining us now is Mallory Quigley, Vice President of Communications for the Susan B. Anthony list. First off, Mallory, what should our viewers know about Congressman Lipinski's pro-life leadership?
Yes, well, I mean, he absolutely is a leader. He's not just only a pro-life vote. He has championed this issue much to his political peril as he's faced criticism from within his own party. Congressman Lipinski was the only pro-life Democrat to stand his ground 10 years ago now during the debate over Obamacare. And he stood firm and said, this legislation will allow taxpayer funding of abortion, even after Congressman Bart Stupak, who was championing that cause at the time, and others caved. Congressman Lipinski stood strong, and he's faced much criticism. And even now, those pro-life Democrats who caved, in hindsight, they've said, yes, we were wrong. But Congressman Lipinski, he remains.
What's the makeup of pro-life Democrats in Congress today, and how does this compare to years past?
Yes, well, there used to be dozens in years past. I mean, even back to 2010, during the fight over Obamacare, there was more than a dozen pro-life Democrats who were making up this core coalition. They call them the Stupak Coalition, which was really responsible for delaying the vote while we debated the issue of taxpayer funding of abortion. And now we've got, Congressman Lipinski, Congressman Peterson. There's a limited number now, and he is facing a very tough primary this coming March.
As we discussed with the Congressman, Senator Klobuchar says she wants to welcome pro-lifers into the Democratic Party. Is this just empty talk?
Yeah, I heard that. I think that if Senator Klobuchar is going to be honest with herself and she really means that, then she ought to start by supporting popular common sense legislation. Next week, we're going to have the opportunity in the Senate. There's going to be votes on the 5-month abortion ban and the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act. So can you support Senator Klobuchar stopping the abortion of babies after 5 months, when research shows they can feel excruciating pain from abortion, and get the United States off the list of only 7 countries in the whole world to allow abortions after this point? And if you can't do that, how about protecting babies when they've been born alive? 70% of Democrats, Catherine, support that legislation. So that's really something that is catering to her base, 70% support, and welcoming that 30% who strongly identify as pro-life within the Democratic Party. I think there are concrete ways that she could back that up. I welcome the statement, but it should be backed up with action.
And to what you mentioned, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has called for a vote on both the pain-capable bill and the Born Alive bill. We're expecting that next week. Are we expecting any Democratic support for these bills?
Right. Well, there have been votes on both of these pieces of legislation in the past. And in the past, the pain-capable bill has been supported by Senator Manchin, West Virginia, Senator Casey, Pennsylvania. And I think on the Born Alive legislation, we will pick up a vote from Senator Jones of Alabama, perhaps, although he did say this week to a constituent that who was asking him about the 5-month abortion ban. He called it a stupid question. He was laughing. The animosity that is shown towards pro-life issues by the Democratic Party is just so evident.
And like you said, common sense bills.
Yes.
We're grateful for you being here, Mallory Quigley with the Susan B. Anthony list. Thank you.
My pleasure.